My name is Bill Ewell, the mayor of the great historic city of Alexandria, Virginia, and I'm honored to welcome you to this event. On behalf of my colleagues on the City Council, I'd like to officially welcome everyone to this morning to Alexandria and to the Carlisle neighborhood. This is a very exciting and a historical moment, and certainly Alexandria is all about history. For so many of us, the City of Alexandria, the Hoffman family, and our partners at GSA and NSF. Projects like this only come around once in a business cycle. The opportunity for a federal agency to design and build a new state-of-the-art headquarters in a daunting but very exciting, is a daunting but a very exciting project. And most agencies only get that opportunity once every 2 decades if they're lucky. And for the city, we spent years and countless hours planning and designing the future of our neighborhoods. And when we finally finish, we often have to then wait years for market demand to make our visions become a reality. As I said back in June when GSA announced that the National Science Foundation would be moving to Alexandria, this will be a tremendous gain for our entire community. Having the NSF headquartered in Alexandria will strengthen our growing knowledge-based economy and directly contribute to our professional workforce. Our high quality of life, access to public transportation, and cultural charm are key reasons why government and private businesses are drawn to Alexandria. And as you can see from the attendance today, our community is truly excited to celebrate this milestone. Back in 2011, my colleagues on City Council and I passed a resolution to strongly support an NSF move to Alexandria and to actively engage with property owners to recruit the agency. Over the ensuing years, the City Council, city staff, the Alexandria Economic Development Partnership, or AEDP, and our area developers all contributed to the team effort that resulted in GSA's selection on behalf of NSF of this Alexandria site, but only after an extremely competitive bidding process between highly desirable localities and developers. Members of the Hoffman family, the Alexandria City Council are present with us. We have John Chapman, Tim Levain, so you can wave or stand and be recognized, Del Pepper, Paul Smedberg, and Justin Wilson, and members of the ADP board are all here today and are proud to represent a part of the combined efforts that led to GSA's decision on behalf of NSF. We also have in the audience with us former Mayor Curry Donnelly, who's also a member of the ADP Board of Directors, who was instrumental in this effort, as well as former City Council member David Speck. We also have Judge Anthony Trenga representing the U.S. Federal Courthouse, which is just adjacent here. Our city manager, Rashad Young, and members of his staff, and they're all present, from the planning director to the transportation environmental services director and deputy city managers and others, and community members as well are all here. They have worked tirelessly for many years to plan Carlisle and Eisenhower East. The development community has been an important partner in designing and proposing mixed-use projects that promote smart growth and utilize our key transportation assets, the King Street and Eisenhower Avenue metro stations. We also have with us today many of NSF's future neighbors who are very excited to welcome 2,100 new employees to town. As many might remember, the U.S. Eastern District Courthouse was a trailblazer in the Carlisle neighborhood. And again, we're fortunate to have Judge Trenga here with us today, representing hundreds of federal employees who work in that facility. We also are thrilled to see representatives from what many call Carlisle's catalyst, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. At the time, the lease for the PTO's 2.5 million square feet office space was the largest federal lease in history. 2015 will mark PTO's 10th anniversary here in Alexandria, and we're delighted that a strong relationship is already forming between their agency and NSF. As a neighbor, we know that what possibilities for collaboration and promoting innovation and creativity might present themselves. So thank you to Frederick Steckler. If you're here, please stand or wave your hand. PTO's Chief Administrative Officer, and his team for coming today and for helping to roll out the red carpet for the future NSF team. And now, the trend continues for Carlisle. In the future, we will refer to NSF as the accelerator, the anchor that kicked off the next exciting phase of development in Carlisle. The future for Alexandria continues to be bright, and we look forward to the innovation, creativity, and educational opportunities NFS will add to our community, not to mention technology and, yes, jobs. That's important. And on that note, I would like to now invite to the stage our Congressman James P. Moran. Jim? Just a few days ago, Jim announced his plans to retire from Congress. This is a great opportunity for us to express how thankful we are for his decades of service to our city, this district, and our country. Though his time as mayor of Alexandria and then his work in Congress, the impact of his efforts can be seen all around us. Thank you, Jim, for your service and for always being so supportive of Alexandria. Let's give him another round of applause.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks, Bill. This is a good occasion. It really goes back almost a generation. It's almost 30 years ago when we rezoned Eisenhower Valley. It was not easy. Some of the same folks who opposed it are still the same cast of characters that the council deals with today. Del and David and Kerry and members, you know who I'm talking about, so there's no need to mention them by name, and they're all wonderful friends. But anyway, it was tough, but we had a vision. Chuck Beatley had that vision. Vola Lawson, who succeeded him, understood that Eisenhower Valley could be the real economic source, the economic strength, the place in Alexandria where we could realize our economic potential without detracting from the residential character of many of our other neighborhoods. We still need more transportation access to the valley as far as I'm concerned. But we knew it had enormous potential. And one of the people who spawned that vision was a guy by the name of Dutch Hoffman. Now, Dutch has passed, but he left that vision in the heart and mind of his son, Jay. And Jay never gave up, knowing that having a metro station was integral to our ability to fulfill the potential of this part of Alexandria and of the region. Right alongside the Beltway, having metro, having the access that it has right across the Wilson Bridge. We knew the potential, but it needed an anchor tenant. Now, the DOD served some purpose for a while. It was not the anchor tenant that we knew could maximally spawn the kinds of other activities that we want in terms of residential, other commercial and the like, but it was a fine tenant. BRAC came, they left, it put the city, it put the Hoffman companies, it put a whole lot of people along the Eisenhower Valley in real economic jeopardy. But they didn't give up. The economic development folks, the folks on the city council, on the city staff, the people in the city who shared that vision were determined to realize it, to compete in whatever way was necessary, free and fair, but to set their targets on the kind of objective that was appropriate, needed, and worth the effort. They set their targets on the National Science Foundation. So this, in many ways, is the beginning of the fulfillment of that vision. It's a $300 million headquarters building. I want to thank the General Services Administration, the Obama administration, for the very fine, professional, good people that do their jobs day in and day out. Do it without getting any credit, let alone the kinds of payoffs that happen in other countries all over the world. It's just taken for granted. Let me say a word about the federal workforce. We ought to be damn proud we have the federal workforce that we have. They work hard for little money and even less credit. So the building itself, that's very appropriate, and thank you for doing that. 667,000 square feet, 2 beautiful towers. It's really going to spark development. They figure another 1.5 million square feet of office space, another 1,500 residential units. I'm saying all this because we got reporters who are diligently writing it down, so I want to get these facts in the article that they write. There's going to be a hotel coming in to handle the tens of thousands, at least 30,000 visitors come in every year because of the National Science Foundation. GSA has served the taxpayers very well. If some of these groups that think they're so conscientious were to look at what GSA has achieved on behalf of the taxpayers, they'd be pretty stunned. Now, the NSF's relocation from the Ballston area in Arlington in 2017 will be the largest transfer of federal workers in Northern Virginia since the Patent and Trademark Office left Crystal City for Alexandria in 2005. NSF is one of Arlington's largest employers. This is a fact that has not gone unnoticed by our friends in Arlington, who I represent as well. Yeah, Jay's laughing here. That's, but 2,400 headquarters employees, contractors, scientists are going to move to this building. But beyond those statistics, those kind of specifics in terms of economic development, I want to just lay out a little bit more of the larger national context here. The National Science Foundation is our country's single largest supporter of basic scientific research. The federal government pays for 60% of the basic research of this country, most of it through the National Science Foundation and the National Institutes of Health. Business and industry pay for about 20%, largely drug companies and some of the technology companies. But it is that basic research which is so essential for the expansion of knowledge worldwide. It fulfills our human desire for discovery, and it's the first step in the innovation process. We absolutely depend upon this steady pipeline of basic research that NSF conducts. Since World War II, federally funded, science-driven innovation, particularly at the National Science Foundation, has been responsible for more than half of all the economic growth in the United States since World War II. And we can support that. That's not just a hyperbolic statement. It spawned the biotech, the semiconductor industries. It gave us the laser, the GPS, the MRI, the World Wide Web, the internet. It's entirely changed the way that we communicate and conduct commerce. Barcodes, fiber optics, nanotechnology, speech recognition therapy, which we're just developing now. You know, you're in your car and you can speak, and some woman who I never can figure out. I ask her what her name is and so on to be pleasant. But all of that stuff, all of that stuff came from federal funded basic research. Google, it's a $300 billion company. It got its start through the National Science Foundation's Digital Library Initiative that was first funded back in 1994. Now, it's very appropriate that, and one of the most compelling things about this location is that it's a stone's throw from the Patent and Technology Office, Patent and Trademark Office. Many PTO employees are here today, and we want to thank them for being here, and we hope that many PTO employees are going to be spending their time with NSF employees. That's the kind of synergy that must happen, not just for Alexandria's sake or for what's been happening in Arlington, but for our nation and our world's sake. We need that kind of collaboration. This is a really big deal to achieve it here. That's the end of the process. The beginning of the process is at NSF with the basic research, and then you get your patents through the PTO. But it does take patient capital, investments in the future, and a faith in the future of our children and our grandchildren. It's something we as a nation need to invest in, this knowledge and this kind of technology that we can't know what it is right now, but we know if we adequately fund NSF and PTO, it will keep coming. Same thing for NIH, and that's why it's my great honor to be here at this groundbreaking. It's going to provide the National Science Foundation with a new headquarters that will be equal to its most critical mission. Thank all of you for being here.
Thank you, Congressman, for your comments as well as your leadership and vision. I also, again, want to make mention that this would not have happened without the support from all of our economic partners that we have here in the City of Alexandria. Again, the Alexandria Economic Development Partnership led by Val Hawkins and Stephanie Landrum, and then we have the Alexandria Chamber of Commerce, we have the Eisenhower Partnership, Alexandria Convention and Visitors Association, and support from certainly the members of the City of Alexandria's Planning Commission. At this time, I'd like to invite Jay Hoffman to the stage. A little over 50 years ago, and I got to meet Jay's father back in 1972 when I first started out in the construction industry. Jay's father had purchased all of this land around us, which at that time was swampland considered to be on the outskirts of Alexandria. He had a vision for what this area could be, a livable mixed-use urban center accessible to public transportation, shops, and jobs. The start of the NSF headquarters project is the next step in seeing this dream come to fruition. We're delighted to have Jay here today representing the Hoffman family. Jay?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I had lunch with my son the other day who lives in Boston. And he said, "Dad, I've got bad news for you. You're the most hated man in Boston." He said, "What do you think of that?" I said, "Jay, that doesn't normally happen until after they meet me." So this has been a huge collaboration. We couldn't have done it without the mayor, the city council, everybody at the city, Val Hawkins and his people, Stephanie Landrum, the wonderful people at the National Science Foundation, and this has taken over 4 years. And I can't say enough about Jim Phelan, the contracting officer at GSA, whom I have known for the most part of my adult life, and the other contracting officers at GSA. Jim Phelan gave his heart and soul to this project. And I want to thank Jim and his people and the people at Studley. They did a wonderful job. But we are so looking forward to your coming, and I think you'll really enjoy being in the Eisenhower family, in the Alexandria family, And if there's ever anything we can do for you, please just let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay, and thanks to you and your family for your impressive history of giving back to the community through support of so many charities and nonprofits in our city. Next, I'd like to introduce Julia E. Hudson, the Regional Administrator of the National Capital Region with the General Services Administration. Julia and her team at GSA led the lease procurement process on behalf of their client, NSF, and will continue to be a key partner in the development of the building over the next 3 years. Julia's team is responsible for the entire Washington metropolitan area federal real estate inventory, 96 million square feet, and more than 80 facilities that house nearly 300,000 workers. Julia, welcome.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning again to Mayor Ewell, to Dr. Merritt, to my second favorite member of Congress, Jim Moran. He knows that my previous member of Congress, whom I served as Chief of Staff for many years, is also in the regional delegation, represents D.C., but you oftentimes, in addition to your own member, have a secret favorite member that you don't work for. And so on behalf of well, you're leaving us now, so the secret is out, the jig is up. But 2 decades of service, straight no chaser, very tenacious, a stalwart for the 8th Congressional District of Virginia. You don't get much better than that. So my heart was very heavy. The National Capital Region's heart was very heavy when you announced that you'd be stepping down at the end of this term. Never another one like you. I don't know if we can clone you at this point, but you will be sorely, sorely missed. So thank you for all of your hard work and dedication. And to Mr. Hoffman, it is an honor and a distinct pleasure to be here today on this momentous occasion. On behalf of GSA, the National Capital Region, we are absolutely ecstatic over the groundbreaking of the new NSF headquarters facility. This project exemplifies our agency's commitment to sustainable development, saving money for the American taxpayer, as well as promoting local economic development. It is designed to achieve gold certification under the LEED program as part of the U.S. Green Building Council. This is the second highest designation possible, so we're really excited about this. This certification demonstrates such innovations as narrow floor plates to provide maximum exposure to natural light, energy savings, heating and cooling, minimizing surface runoff, and in addition to this site, this is the proximity to Metro will provide NSF employees with fast and efficient mass transportation, which is an added plus and coup for this project. The lease that we awarded to Hoffman Development will save the American taxpayer, I'm glad everyone is sitting down here, $65 million over its 15-year term, and features a rental rate that is 30% below the market rate, and a generous $35 million contribution by the developer to offset the cost of the move from NSF's current location in Arlington. And finally, this marks the second decade in a row the GSA has awarded a lease to an emerging redevelopment area in Alexandria to spur further. I'm sorry, Mayor Ewell, I forgot that part. You said keep it coming? Okay, to spur further development. In 2001, we awarded the largest lease in GSA's history, 2.1 million square feet, to move the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office into new quarters in the Carlisle redevelopment area. And now we're giving a major push to the development of a major new mixed-use project here on Eisenhower Avenue. The City of Alexandria has responded magnificently by providing and creating the Eisenhower Avenue Science Redevelopment District, and the city is granting the Hoffman Company a $23 million tax break over the life of the lease, while still realizing $50 million in new tax revenue and bringing more than 4,000 jobs, all right here in Alexandria. Before I close, I would like to acknowledge the hard work of the GSA NCR team, starting with our Director of Leasing, Victoria Harkey, our Contracting Officer Extraordinaire, Jim Phelan. Jim, you might as well stand up at this point. Our Leasing Specialist, Glenn Harvey, and including Andre Speak. These guys are not shy, so I guess they're shy since we're actually here on site. But Andre Speaks, Frank Yobia, Cody, Mark Schaller, Alex Intermaggio, Don Smith, Shantier Dixon, Sharon Rains, Beyong Young, Liz Johnson, and Greg Jeffries. And we're also joined here this morning by my Regional Commissioner for PBS, Darren Blue, and my Deputy Regional Commissioner Extraordinaire as well for PBS, Thomas James. And we also receive excellent brokerage services from Studley. So honored guests, without further ado, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to some and present to others the woman who is the fearless leader of the National Science Foundation, Acting Director of NSF, Ms. Cora Merritt.
Thank you. Again, as Dr. Merritt comes to the stage, she served as the acting director, she's serving rather, as the acting director since January 2009, and then acting deputy director, senior advisor until her confirmation as deputy director in May of 2011. First had an opportunity to meet her and her team when they were touring the region looking at various prospective sites, and we said to her then that this will be your home, and we're pleased to say today that this is the first of many welcomes to Alexandria. Congratulations and thank you.
Well, it is indeed a great honor to be with all of you today and to begin a new chapter in the history of the National Science Foundation. We, as others have said, we are very grateful for the hard work and strong support of the mayor, the City of Alexandria, the General Services Administration, the Hoffman Town Center, and the Hoffman family for making today's groundbreaking possible. Thank you. Our thanks to all of you for turning the concept of building a new foundation headquarters, into a reality. Now, I have spoken with many of my foundation colleagues about this new facility, and they are enthusiastic about the many advantages that it will offer. Yes, Regional Administrator Hudson, they appreciate the easy accessibility by car and by transit, as well as the convenience of having so many amenities so close by. We are in fact looking forward to a new building that is LEED certified for sustainability, and one, I will certainly reemphasize one of her points, a building projected to save taxpayers some $65 million over a period of 15 years. We care about taxpayers. For more than 6 decades, the National Science Foundation has been at the epicenter of the science and engineering innovation ecosystem that is the bedrock of America's economic prosperity and national security. Congressman Moran has already identified what our commitment is about. I simply re-echo. Our mission is to support basic research at the frontiers of knowledge across all fields of science and engineering. The foundation enables the best minds to realize dreams. We engage the scientific curiosity of thousands of scientists, engineers, researchers, and educators all across this country. Collectively, National Science Foundation funded researchers have won more than 210 Nobel Prizes for their work in the fields of chemistry, economics, physics, and physiology and medicine. You've heard a bit about what the federal investments in basic research have meant. Congressman Moran has given you a strong sense of what the investments have yielded. For the National Science Foundation, those grants have led to scientific breakthroughs, thousands of breakthroughs. As he mentioned, with reference to the internet, to MRI, to Doppler radar, touch screens, laser eye surgery, barcodes, 3D printers, and this is only one set of the contributions that we've made. These are just a few of the things that have happened. President Obama recently observed, ideas are what power our economy. It's what America is all about. We are a nation of dreamers and risk takers. What the president has described is precisely what NSF grants aim to do, to make possible. And we've been known for years as the place where discoveries begin. We take that mission very seriously. Thus, I am proud to represent the people of the National Science Foundation, the people, as the congressman already noted, who worked very hard to make the ideas happen on a daily basis. We look forward then to moving into this 21st century workplace where we will continue to empower the nation through discovery and innovation. I began by thanking those who had had direct roles in the efforts. I unfortunately do not have the time to go through all of the people at the National Science Foundation who've also contributed, but I want to end my comments for thanking all of you, not only for what you have already done, but what you will be doing as we continue the journey forward for bringing this concept to reality and enabling the nation to continue to be the source of the innovation so fundamental to our nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Merritt. And just a couple of evenings ago, I, along with other mayors, had the opportunity to be at the White House participating in various forums with the senior staff, and we heard speeches by both the vice president and the president. And what the president mapped out to the mayors of cities and towns all across America was the importance of, through moving forward in terms of enhancing our cities and growing them, and in terms of economic development, that we needed to partner with colleges and universities and with government agencies such as NFS and others. And so, believe me, we will be doing just that in Alexandria, reaching out to you and to continue to expand, rather, a partnership relationship for our folks. We are pleased, again, to officially welcome NSF to this vibrant community. We look forward to the creative energy and potential that your organization represents. And so with that, we say thank you to everyone for being here, and we look forward again to the opening, coming back in a year and a half or so for the grand ribbon cutting and opening of this new facility. At this time, I'd like to invite everyone to join us outside for the official breaking of the ground.